everybody, so we have the Gl650 back in the shop here, not because it really needs anything, but because I have something I want to change on it. So the headlight has been kind of a topic of discussion, and that's cool. It's a handmade thing. We have a double stacked light, and it works. It's cool. It's unique to the bike, but you know, as this thing is for sale, I kind of need to make it more marketable. So I feel like a good headlight upgrade is a worthy thing to do for this thing right now. So we are going to unbox this light that I got from Choice City Moto. Known these guys for a long time. They make some great stuff, and I really want to showcase the brackets here and what they have to offer, because it's a great deal. It's a well-engineered piece. So we're going to go with something that is more compact, fits nice and slim to the bike, and it's hopefully going to kind of match the rest of the vibe. So I think it's going to be really cool. But for now, I'm going to open up this box, show you guys what I got. Alright, I've been wanting to use this light for quite a long time now. I am excited to do so on this particular bike. I think you guys are going to like it. Okay, now I'm going to start with a bucket here. It's SO9 engineered. Alright, now what I got is a 5 3/4 inch. This one has a contrast machine cut headlight bucket. Here we have these compact mounts. I'll get these out in a minute. A couple inserts here with some hardware. Okay. There we go. I chose to pair that with this 5 3/4 inch LED kind of plug and play here. Nice compact unit, so this ring's going to fit around it, and then that's going to allow you to tie in the mounts to the forks. So this is all going to look really nice together. So I think the center here, the running light, is going to actually have kind of a yellow glow to it. And then after that, everything is just going to be a nice clean color. And you can order these with different color inserts, let's say like a blue background or a red, to kind of, you know, mix and match and make it kind of match your own bike. Now the part I'm especially excited about is actually the mounts. So let's see. Now these were designed by SO9, and this alleviates a common issue I see with aftermarket lights, or aftermarket light mounts. So you notice that kind of swivel right here? You actually tighten these on the fork clamps, and then this swivel paired, we're just gonna get everything out. So here's the section that actually bolts to the light, and then this is what clamps onto the fork. I'm going to unthread these, and I want to show you guys what is really cool about this. An issue that I see a lot whenever you order aftermarket headlights and brackets and mounts and whatnot is they're either spaced really far away from the actual bike itself, and they just extend out so far and they don't look good, or you know, you can't get the width right, so you end up fighting the headlight and having like different spacers built in and whatnot. It's really annoying. But these, you can see here, so imagine your fork, you have two of these. So imagine your fork is going to have a varying width. Well, this pivot allows this to stay straight and square to the headlight bucket and adjusts for the fork width that you have. And that clamps on. And then this doesn't have too far of a depth. Now we can do that because our headlight bucket itself is actually pretty narrow. I think it's going to look fantastic on this bike. So I'm going to go ahead, unbox everything. I'll assemble it on the table, let you guys check it out. Alright, yes, I did reorganize it because my OCD wouldn't let everything be this close to the edge of the red. So we had to put it in the middle. That's just how I am. So, anyway, you can see this thing is all kind of blown apart here, how everything is going to go together. So you have your side brackets, we have the hardware here for the actual ring assembly, and we have some felt pieces. This is with some adhesive tape on the back, and that's to help take up any of the slack that the headlight's going to have in here. Same thing for these pieces that are like little rubber. That is to take up the slack around the fork should you need any for these clamps. So my forks are 37mm, and these brackets, these particular ones, are 36, 37. They offer numerous sizes on the website, but I'm assuming that if they were 36, maybe I might have to use these. We'll see. But that might be good to have anyway, is just decreasing any potential noise or anything like that. And you can see here how the bracket comes apart. You have one side screw and then one vertical one. The vertical screw is what ties into here, into these side brackets. Those side brackets are going to actually bolt right here onto these brackets, which then bolt onto this back ring. It's all going to make sense though, but it all looks really nice, and it does come with instructions. But since I can't read, I don't know what it says. So anyway, now it's time to turn our attention to this thing, and you know, go ahead and pull the top triple off. And well, actually, you know what? We're not going to have to, because those brackets unbolt. We can just undo this headlight and take it off. Alright, it looks like I'm ready to take the headlight off here, and then we can go ahead and start swapping that thing on. So I just need to unclip the zip ties here and get this harness unplugged for the headlight. This plugs right about there under the tank, so I'll have to take the tank off, which means I'll have to take the seat off to take the tank off. But and I got to take the splash guard off to take the seat off to take the tank off to undo the headlight. And what idiot built this thing? So while I have the tank off, I'm kind of just looking under the skin again here for the first time in a while, and I wired this thing by modifying the factory harness, which, you know, worked fine. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. It works perfect, but it just requires more wiring. So I've just recently got the new NWT X21 unit, so you can see how big this is, and this is controlling, like, takes these factory controls and everything like that, and this operates everything on the bike. So I don't know, I could fit that pretty much anywhere I want it, even without going back here under the tail where there's tons of room. But man, I don't know. I don't need to put any more labor into this thing than I have to, but it is tempting to go ahead and do something like this just because this would clean up so much of the wiring. What do you guys think? So if anybody wants this thing, I don't know, hit me up. I'll sell it to you. Kind of direct fit on a Gl650 here. I have a bracket that I've made that'll tie into your lower brake line mount and stuff like that. So I don't know, I don't know what it's worth, but it's worth something. All right, time to get going on this. And first thing I want to do, looks like, put on these side brackets. And being that we're threading into aluminum, Loctite is going to be our friend. So I'm going to use a little bit of red on this. This bike will be for sale, so the last thing I need is somebody buying this thing and the headlight vibrating off of it. Step 1 complete. Alright, next up is to apply these adhesive pads on the ring itself. But before I do that, because I've got some greasy, grimy hands, I'm just going to do a quick wipe with some denatured alcohol on the surface here. Whoa. Touchy. Alright. Now, put the headlight in. So there's a little tang right here, I can tell. That's going to clock right here, because I don't think there's an up-down orientation on this actual bracket. Everything looks to be the same. That fits in there really nice. Alright. Set the bezel on it. I'm just going to get a couple screws started here, that way I can let go of it, and then I will also Loctite these things. Alright, time to assemble these brackets. So I went ahead and just test fitted this on the fork itself, and I'm not going to need any of those spacers. So with the tension of this bolt right here, I'll have good clamping force. So what I need to do is just start one of the bolts up front on either of those, and we can swing that open, put that on the fork, and then we can do the headlight. So let me get going on that. How easy does that make your life, putting this on? So again, you can kind of see the action. If your fork is wider, of course, easy to put on the bike. Just make sure you clock it with screws facing out. Alright, a little trial run here. These little bushings go over the bolt. I have these little rubber bushings here. DOT marking goes up. A little precarious. There we go. Just kind of position this where I want. I'm thinking right about there. All right. Now, a quick tidbit, this light actually has, traditional high-low beam, but it also has like a couple running light features. So I'm going to tap one of those into the headlight control. Now, I actually have this bike wired with a set of CB500X controls, and I did that because these have a throttle cable that runs out of the front, and I did that for fuel tank clearance. So I actually run these lights, instead of them being on with the key, I actually run them through the hazard switch. So I actually have a headlight on off. And what I'm going to do is, I can switch the headlight on and off, but I don't want the running light to be on whenever the headlight's on. So I want to have it switched. So luckily, the hazard has 4 wires. So these two over here, that white with red and black with red, that's for the headlight power on. And this is a latching switch. So whenever you press it, that's headlight on and that's headlight off. But when in the off position, these other 2 wires that I've soldered on, those have continuity. So whenever the headlight's off, the running light will work. So that's what I'm going to do. I have already ran those 2 white wires back through the loom, and then I have to tie in power on one of these sides, and then the other side will just be an output that goes to the light itself. And here we are. So we have our wires within a new piece of heat shrink. We had the same loom here, and I was able to just squeeze those in, luckily, and then heat shrink, all weatherproofed with the boot over the end. So now we have all 9 terminals occupied. And what I'm going to do, instead of tying into one other circuit, the fuse box, let me run over here. The fuse box plug was actually, I had left an extra terminal in here, so that one's switched 12. So I'm just going to tie in right there. We'll loop it right down to here, and we'll be good to go. So it'll have its own standalone circuit, and if it's something that needs to get modified later on, you could always use this to draw more power for more accessories and stuff like that. But it stands on its own isolated fuse as well. So just throw a fuse in there. We'll have power to this circuit once we add a pin, and then the other side will just go right over to the headlight wiring. Easy enough. Also, how awesome are these 500X controls? I'm definitely going to use these in the future. Even though I do have a hazard button here that's kind of, funky, but if I can find something else that has forward exiting throttle cables, I think some of the CBRs and stuff like that do, but I chose these controls based off color and many other variables, but something like this is great. And the fact that, look at this, my throttle is still on, everything's still set up, and the whole system comes apart with just wiring and throttle cables. Like, everything is split. You don't have to, it's just easy. How cool is that? All right, I got my little sub harness done here. Just have the corresponding pins, some heat shrink, make it look nice with some loom, then our different outputs here. So the 1/4-inch spade terminal, this is going to be drawing power from the fuse box. That's going to go right here. And that's going to be our switched power, of course. This is going to be our output to the actual light. So power goes in to this switch housing on this side, runs up to the control. This is obviously going to be powering the light. Goes back out of here. So we have the same terminals. You get that. That's going to run across and have another output here for the light. And we should be able to make our connections. So as you can see, I have a bike in the background here. I had to get it off the lift and make sure I had steering clearance. So I did have to modify the brackets just a little bit. I had to just file a little bit off the corners of them, and that was just to clear the tank. And that tank is particularly close to those forks. So, with any kind of part that you buy, it's more or less universal fit. So these are the things that you're going to encounter. So just be aware. But we have it all sorted out now, and I think we're good to go. So we have the control wiring done, and we have all of the wiring to control the headlight all the way up to its plug. So now I just have to modify the harness on the light, and we will be done. We can install this and we'll be good to go. So if you notice, this thing has your main 3-prong plug. Then it has a yellow and it has a white. And each of these is a different color for your insert here. The cross light there, the running light. So we are going to use the white wire on this instance. So I'm going to actually just cap this one off. I'll leave it in the harness, and I will extend this because I've got different terminals on this thing and just a whole different setup because I had the custom light on it. So what I'll do is I'll depin this, clip the ends, extend the wiring, and put on the correct terminals that I need, and we'll be good to go. Alright, check it out. So I've got my fuse added on the fuse block. So key on, we'll do that. You can see a little glow up here. That is the running light, the horizontal beam. And that is with the headlight off. So press that. Okay. That's a latching. This is low beam. And then our high beam on the switch. So this thing's super bright. So check it out, headlight is on, and if you're noticing, of course, I went ahead, took some time, built a fly screen because it just looked empty there. So upon some recommendations, I also picked up on the metallic oil rub bronze that follows into the tank, and of course the seat. So I think that looks good. Did kind of a bend in the middle and then had a harder bend here, so it has like a little bit of a V built into it, and I did that to pick up on the V that you'll see throughout the bike. But overall, really like this light. So let me go ahead and fire this thing up for you. So on key on, we have the sweet Tron light here, that's just that running light, so that's going to be what's on at all times. Let me go headlight on. That's low beam. You guys probably can't see anything right now. And then high beam. And there you have it. We got the light on here, and of course I built the fly screen. I think it looks good, and I think all of this works together and makes sense on this bike. So it's very cohesive. We have the contrast cut light, kind of modern looking, and then the fly screen, of course, we're picking up on the colors and the shapes of the bike, and I really like it. So again, I'm going to link this light below. Go check that out. Go get one on order if you would. I mean, these things are fairly priced, so light, brackets included, and they have a lot of other selections on there. So if this is the first time you've seen this bike and you like what you see, check out some other videos. I'll link one here, and then go check out some other videos on the channel. Got a lot going on. So anyway, I'll wrap it up. I know this video's going long, so yeah, hope you enjoyed this one. Hope to see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.